Al Sharpton. We're gonna talk about a couple of examples here. Now here's Al Sharpton. Now Al Sharpton ain't from the hood. He ain't never been from the hood. He ain't never been on no gangster shit. He ain't from no hood. But he dabbled a little bit, and his dabbling was cocaine, trying to maybe flip a bird, flip a couple ounces, and he got caught.
Right.
He got caught red-handed on video by the feds. So what do the feds do? You work for us now, Al, and we want you to wear a wire and record some of these conversations and go to these people and do this and do that. And he did this in the 1980s for about 4 years. But at that time, he was known as CI7.
Right, 4 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, the documents only identify him as CI7. In fact, if you look at all the paperwork that Al Sharpton is involved in, his name is never in it. He's CI7. And he denied that he was ever a FBI informant throughout the 80s and 90s up until either 2014 or 2017. Somebody just said, no, it is Al Sharpton. These are the transcripts that prove it's Al Sharpton. Right. And then eventually he kind of admitted it, but he didn't really fully admit it.
Right. He danced around it a lot. He made a lot of excuses why. I mean, he usually used the term rat. I'm not a rat because, and he justified in his mind why he shouldn't be labeled as a rat. But he's giving me perspective on what other rats out here are doing. You know what I mean? Is this the mindset that you guys have, that you're not a rat based on because he's matter of fact, he said he was a cat.
Well, you know what? Let me play a clip of what Al Sharpton said back in 2014. This is what Al Sharpton said.
I was never told I was an informant with a number. So in my own mind, I was not an informant. I was cooperating with investigations. The conversations were recorded, and I would record them today if somebody threatened me. Nothing new about this story. Joe Banner was the one that set up the meeting with this guy, Sal. So I've done a lot of things in life. Some that if I could do again, I would do differently. But in this situation, I did what was right. I did what I was always raised in the values of a praying mother to do. And I did what I tell kids every day all over this country that they should do. And that is deal with getting guns and crime out of their community and cooperate with the law. If I was doing business for James Brown, I had no choice but to meet with guys who would later be alleged or earlier be alleged to be mobsters. Wasn't like I was saying, hey, I heard you was with the so-and-so family. Let's chill together. It wasn't like that. Rats are usually people that were with other rats. I was not and am not a rat because I wasn't with the rats. I'm a cat. I chase rats. And whether it's a rat in racial profiling or police brutality, or mobsters exploiting black artists, don't get me confused.
All right. So what's your take on his response to being an FBI informant?
Well, my response is this. If you have to do an interview to convince people that you're not an FBI informant, you probably are. But it's evident that to me, I'm gonna be honest, to me, in my opinion, this dude's a rat. Okay. For a couple reasons. For one, you ain't always had your nose clean. You ain't always been on the side of the law that you profess and that you willing to help so diligently. You know what I mean? You was dibbling and dabbling and you got caught. Now, even if you didn't decide to cooperate because you got caught, bro, you was breaking the law and doing what the rest of us out here doing, trying to make a little extra money, and you got caught. And I'm assuming that's when you flip. So I got to put the rat stamp on him. I'm going to be honest with you.
No doubt about it. Even though Al Sharpton is not a gangster, he is not known to be involved in consistent criminal activity. Nevertheless, he was dabbling. The feds got him on video and audio trying to negotiate a cocaine deal. And hey, everybody's trying to make a dollar. And at that time, he decided maybe this is a way for me to make a dollar. He got caught and decided to work for the feds. CI number 7. And just like in many people's paperwork, the confidential informant's name is not in it.
Right.
Does that remind you of anybody right now?
No doubt.
The name of the person is not going to be in the paperwork. So it takes other types of corroborating evidence to link. And apparently they linked Al Sharpton to this paperwork because of the transcripts. The conversational transcripts always give it away because they'll say the dude's name in the transcripts.
No doubt. You just pulled up some dynamic transcripts recently, and at the end of the day, you know that you sealed the deal with him, so he could sit up there all he want to say that his name not in the paperwork or that he's not an informant. But like I said, I'm gonna give you the informant stamp. You know,
no doubt he goes down. Definitely, he's considered a snitch, rat, or whatever term you want to use, but it never really affected him in terms of his career, how revered he is around the country. I mean, he just gave the eulogy.
I was just finna say
he
that,
just gave the eulogy at Amir Locke's funeral. So does America really have an issue with people who are rats and informants?
I'm starting to, just from recent incidents, I'm just starting to believe that people don't, you know, not America as a whole. You know, it still matter in the hood. It still matter in the turf. It really still matter within family. You know, but America as a whole, you know, they don't care. They really want you to just come out, man, confess what you did, and America will give you another shot. The streets may not, but America definitely will.
What grade do you give Al Sharpton's confession? Because that press conference and the audio that we just listened to, that was supposed to be him saying, yeah, it's true, but blah, 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 blah.
He danced around it way too much, had way too many excuses.